The Josephine Abady Award, given to a mid-career director, producer, or creative director of cultural diversity, is presented by Theater Hall of Fame honoree and producer of 7 Pulitzer Prize-winning plays, Daryl Roth.
Hey. Hi, everybody. I'm just listening to everyone, and I am so filled with love and awe. And as a person who started her career midlife, in my 40s, I really want to applaud all the people that are young and beginning and those that are still here and doing it with love and passion, because there's room for all of us, whatever decade we are in. And one thing I also want to say is it's great to be in a room of people that some we know and some we don't. Making new friends and meeting people that are sharing the love of theater that we have is very exciting. And I just want to say that aside from looking around the room and saying hi to somebody you don't know, maybe after lunch we can all exchange our cards and say, yes, I'd love to work with you one day. Anyway, the reason I am here is not to pontificate, but to introduce you to a wonderful young woman named Jacquellyn Bell, who honestly I had known about but had not met until today, proving my point. And she's being given the Josephine Abady Award. I knew Josephine, actually. She was one of the first women who reached out to me when I began my career 32 years ago. And it was hard in the beginning, I must say. And when people were welcoming and came with open arms, it was very special. So I'm happy that I was asked to present this very award. This award is in her name for a mid-career director or producer of work that champions cultural diversity. Jacquellyn is the perfect recipient. After a successful theater and stage management career in Orlando, she moved to New York in 2014 to chart a new course and has since become a producer, social activist, and visionary leader in our industry. She started Bell Arts Entertainment, has a good ring, I think, a commercial theater and live event company, and her first project was the Drama Desk nominated and New York Times critics pick, Emoji Land, the musical. So I would say it was a great beginning and a good omen. She has tirelessly worked to advance the dialogue around racial equality and inclusion in our industry, most recently producing Broadway for Black Lives Matter. She also co-founded the Broadway, I can't say this word ever, Advocacy Coalition, which unites artists with legal experts and community leaders to have an impact on issues including criminal justice reform and education within our industry. So in recognition of this coalition's impressive work, they received a special Tony Award in 2020, which is pretty special. I've spoken to people who have collaborated with Jacquellyn, and everyone mentions how passionate, how enthusiastic, and how tenacious she is. Those are 3 qualities that I admire. So we thank you, Jacquellyn, for your dedication, your professional excellence, and the leadership you have shown and what I know is on the horizon. It's my great honor to present you with the Josephine Abady Award.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, so friends and esteemed colleagues and all the new people that I'm so excited to meet today, thank you so much for this immense honor. And Daryl, you have been one of my biggest inspirations in this industry. It was like a dream come true to have you present, so just thank you. I literally used to watch her on Working in the Theater when I was like in high school, like my whole heart. Thank you all for being here to support all of us, our honorees. And a special shout out to my soon-to-be husband, Jesse Kearney. 20 days 20 days and I'll have a new name. Thank you to the League of Professional Theater Women for recognizing me today. I'll just say this personally. I'm a person who tends to work behind the scenes and have been a part of a lot of amazing things that have gotten recognition as a part of a group, but this is the first time in my life I've ever sort of felt seen as an individual, so thank you for that. I remember when I got the email saying that I was to receive the Josephine Abady Award, and I sobbed on my bed. I cried, and I just kept asking why. Why me? Why now? Who am I to deserve this? Well, for those who don't know, I'm Jacquellyn Elaine Bell. I have devoted my life to the theater industry and have worked in almost every major city in the United States. I've taken shows across the globe to some amazing places like Jakarta and Kazakhstan, and continue to do so. And I truly believe that the arts has the power to change lives. As we gather here at the top of the second act for our industry, I'd like to take an opportunity to remind you that the work of equity and inclusion is not done. We must take the lessons that we learned in the Great Intermission and continue to strive to build a more welcoming and just community for all. So, it's funny, my mother used to always tell me, you're a very challenging child. So listen, it's not hard raising a future founder. I get it. It's not easy. So I'd like to challenge all the leaders here in this space. So if you're up to it, here's the challenge. My challenge is for you to balance your books. Now, that sounds pretty easy, right? Right. Let me tell you a little story. In 2017, I discovered an awful injustice was happening to me. A tour that I was working on for many years was paying my friend and colleague 4 times what I was making per performance. This amounted to a $20,000 loss of revenue, and the opportunity cost, the money that you lose because you didn't have the money in the first place, has been enormous over the years. Yes, he was a white cis male. Yes, he was less qualified. And yes, he did half the work that I did on that show. But you know what? Success is the best revenge. So whether you're a decision maker in your organization or you're close enough to the powers that be, I challenge you to audit your payroll and ensure that the compensation levels are equitable. If your company is struggling with retention of BIPOC hires, look at your books. Salary transparency is happening. People are discussing this more freely and more openly. And marginalized communities are embracing their worth. So, to answer the question of that crying girl only about a month ago, struggling to understand why she would be recognized by the League of Professional Theater Women, well, I say to her, because my darling, you are worth it. God bless you and thank you.